This video is brought to you by PureVPN. PureVPN helps you out in a few ways. You know those fucking annoying country restrictions you see every now and then? No longer a problem. Or when you can't access your social media accounts at the office or school because the establishment has them all blocked. All sorted. And no need to worry about hackers trying to steal your shit and fuck your mainframe. Cock-blocked every time. It's piss easy to set up on all your devices. Link in the description.
27-year-old Hannah Mounsey wants to play in the elite ranks of women's football and has spoken about how important it is that sport leads the way in including transgender athletes.
Hannah Mounsey is built like a brick shithouse. She's got the build of a particularly muscular biological male because she is a particularly muscular biological male. Now let's call a spade a spade. The term women's football means females football. Nobody was thinking about the differences between sex and gender when the Women's Football League began.
Really can, in many ways, make their transition a success or a failure socially. And that's a huge responsibility to have.
But the AFL has knocked back her bid to enter the draft, giving no specific reason why, saying it took into account available data on transgender strength, stamina, physique, as well as the maturity of the league, its current players and Ms Mounsey's individual circumstances.
Well, I don't think the AFL has made a particularly unreasonable decision here.
I'm a bit surprised because Hannah is a woman. This is the women's AFL. You know, what is the issue?
Well, I'd say the issue is that Hannah is a biological male and has the advantage of having a significantly larger build than the biological females that play in the WAFL.
Hannah Mounsey says while she's extremely disappointed with the decision, she thanks the AFL for the genuine way in which it approached her situation.
Well, that's a very reasonable reaction. Props to Hannah for being so mature about it.
In making this decision, the AFL would have been really concerned about the health and safety of the other women in the AFLW competition.
Hannah Mounsey transitioned after representing Australia at handball, and although 190 centimetres tall and 100 kilograms, she's believed to have met Olympic hormonal requirements for such cases.
Yeah, well, the fact that the Olympic requirement for such cases purely comes down to hormones is ridiculous in my view. I looked into the IOC's requirements for transgender athletes wanting to compete as females when I made a video about Laurel Hubbard, a transgender weightlifter from New Zealand who won the Australian Women's International Weightlifting competition back in March. In 2015, the IOC updated its policy with regard to transgender competitors. And get this, there's only two conditions that must be met in order to compete as a woman. You've got to say that you're a woman, and your testosterone levels need to be below a certain level. You don't even need to have your old fella chopped off.
That's entirely laudable.
Shut up, Phil.
The ruling has surprised those at the club where she's already played for a year.
Her size is a bit intimidating, but look, she plays the game pretty fairly. I didn't see her, crashing packs or anything like that.
That's not the point. This guy's effectively saying, well, she's like twice the fucking size of the rest of the women because she was born as a biological male and had the benefit of growing to an adult as a biological male. But she takes it easy on him. Why not just combine the men's and the women's league then? I'm sure the blokes will take it easy on the chicks,
So yeah, it is a bit of a surprise.
The Players Association says no player should have faced confusion around these matters or been forced to wait until the eve of the draft for a resolution.
From the press release, it did look like perhaps they hadn't ever thought of perhaps a transgender woman applying to be part of the competition.
Well, maybe they hadn't ever thought of perhaps a transgender woman applying to be part of the women's competition. I wouldn't necessarily blame them for that. I'd say there's a very strong chance this is the first time it's happened. And when it comes to a high-contact sport like Aussie rules football, I don't think the issue is going to be an easy one to solve. We're talking about a very well-built, biologically male ex-Olympian wanting to play Aussie rules football against females. Of course it's not going to be a simple issue to solve.
The AFL has said she could still try next year's draft. Hannah Mounsey says that is what she hopes to do. A deadline for the AFL then to get its policies in order.
Recession, session.